Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now welcome to Oak Camp, which is my country retreat for spring 2023. I often go and stay in Oak Lodge, which is my woodland hut, and I'm not far from that, only about 100 meters away, but I'm filming a series of videos at Oak Camp, and my campfire is just in front of me here, so I apologize if clouds of smoke keep billowing up in front of the camera, but I need the heat, not for the temperature, because it is a warm day, more than 20 degrees Celsius, but I do intend to cook on that in a moment. So life goes on though. Even though I'm enjoying a bit of a rest, I have had a query from a reader about a wristwatch. And as you probably know, I'm a huge wristwatch fan. And I know what you're going to think. What does a man wear when he's spending a week in the woods? Well, what else can a man wear other than the trusty Rolex Explorer, a watch which is ideally suited for being outdoors because it's light, small. It's the 36mm model, mine. I've had it a few years now, and it just disappears on the wrist, which is exactly what you want when, you just need to look at the time every so often. It's great to have a robust, tough watch which doesn't dominate your wrist real estate. So the question I have received is from Valera, Scotland. And he asks for my advice. And this is the question. So, my AD, authorised dealer, has keeping me in line for a green Oyster Perpetual 36mm Rolex for my 40th birthday. However, they've said it's very unlikely I will get it in 18 months' time at this rate. They've only had 2 of that model into the store in the past year. My AD is happy to put me down on the list for an Explorer, appropriate, and it's a watch I very much like too. I have a plain taste and prefer classy, stark and simple watches. In the past, I've owned a Omega Speedy, an IWC Pilot Mark 16 and an Aquaterra black inky dial from 2003. I was offered the 39mm Explorer, which at the time I couldn't justify buying. I have no regrets though, as the 36mm watch is definitely what I would go for. So the question is, would you A, get the Explorer, B, wait for the green Oyster Perpetual, or overpay for that model on the secondary market, or C, go for the Tudor Pelagos 39mm, which I really like also, and would make a great sporty all-round do-all watch? That is a really good question, I have to say, Valera, and it's right up my tree because I'm familiar with all of the watches you talk about. I wear an Explorer. I've had the Pelagos 39mm on my wrist in the last year. There's some great pieces you mentioned. The Aquaterra, again, it's hard to take issue with any of these pieces. They're all wonderful watches and they would make great everyday watches, to work with. So you've got experience of these pieces, but particularly when it comes to Rolex, okay? We're in an era where Rolex still dominates the market by many, many times more levels of popularity than any of their competitors. And as a consequence, even though they churn out 1 million watches a year, it's increasingly difficult to get your hands on one, even though you do hear rumours of them becoming more maybe available. Could that be because the cost of living crisis means that people are buying less luxury watches? I don't know. But it's still very challenging to get any Oyster Perpetual, particularly with the vivid colours, the stellar dials. And the green Oyster Perpetual 36mm, I'm guessing, is one of those very popular ones. Perhaps less so than, the more vivid colours, but the green is very popular. 36mm though gives you a slightly better chance because I think the absolute unobtainable one is going to be the 41mm, even though I personally think they're rather too big. But 36mm is an ideal size for a modern gentleman, particularly if you're of medium stature. I would describe myself, and I wear medium clothing, and I'm a medium guy, and I think a 36mm watch is a perfect understated watch for a gentleman. It's not big and bulky, doesn't get in the way of your clothes. It's ideal. So on that front, yeah, you've chosen well with the Oyster Perpetual 36. However, getting hold of it is going to be a problem. I've looked on Chrono24 because you said you might be interested in going secondary, buying it on the grey market, and at the moment they sell for between £2,000 and £3,000 more than their retail recommended price, which is £5,100. So even though they're the entry-level Rolex watch, £5,100, you will not find one on the secondary market for less than £7,000 or £8,000. So from that point of view, they actually hold their money exceptionally well if you can get your hands on one for retail price. But buying secondary, it's going to be a real kick in the spuds. It's very expensive indeed. For my money, I would never buy a Rolex on the secondary market. They're just not special enough to merit that markup, in my opinion. That's just me though, all right? That's just me. There are many of those watches out there. You will get one, but it will take some time. So save your money and play the long game. The alternatives, which you said, are well worth thinking about. I mean, the Rolex Explorer. You might say I'm a little biased. I've got one on my wrist right now. The Explorer is an excellent do-it-all watch. Right? You can wear this watch. I wore it to London this week. Right? I was up in London earlier in the week before I came to my camp, and I wore this watch all around London. Didn't give me any concerns at all that I was wearing a watch like this in central London. Actually, I saw more fantastic watches in London this last week than I've ever seen on people's wrists. I was on the tube, and a chap opposite me on the tube was wearing a solid gold Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronograph. I mean, a watch which is worth tens and tens of thousands of pounds. He was wearing a short sleeve shirt, and it was out there for the world to see. And I was stood a foot from it, and I admired it greatly. But wearing my little Explorer, I wasn't afraid that I had an ostentatious watch, which would single me out for potential mugging. So there's that with the little Explorer. It is classy, elegant, timeless. It's going to look great in 50 years, which may not be the case with that green dial Oyster Perpetual. You know, fashion changes, and bright, vivid colours go around. It may not be the trendy watch that it is today in the future. There's been a huge spike in the interest in those watches since they came out because they were different, strong coloured. When more strong coloured watches come out, they're going to fade into perhaps less public attention. So definitely your decision, the Rolex Explorer, I would say that is a definite alternative. Certain advantages over the Oyster Perpetual as well. It's £1,000 more in price, but it's certainly from the Rolex Professional range. It has a better clasp on it, but yeah, a definite one to consider. On the secondary market, they also command just over £2,000 additional price as well. So also a solid investment if you can get your hands on one at retail price. The Pelagos 39 though is well worth thinking of too. I've worn that watch, tried it on at the authorised dealer, £3,850 on the bracelet, not stainless steel, titanium. This is the beauty of that watch, as the smoke gets me. It's a great size. The 39mm Pelagos is a beautiful watch. You know, it's a really good size for most people's wrists. It also has the advantage of being titanium, so it is robust, it is tough, it is light. It's got a slightly different hue in colour to it than stainless steel. It certainly looks more grey, it looks more workmanlike, it looks more rugged, it looks more tough. It's Tudor, it's got a COSC certified movement, it has got an in-house movement made by Tudor. There's hardly anything to dislike about that watch. It's got a great ceramic bezel, the dial looks great with the single red line saying Pelagos 39 if you like those little hints of colour. The big advantage, other than the price and the material it's made of, is it comes with a T-fit clasp. So it is always going to fit you well. And it's got 200 metres of water resistance, whereas your Oyster Perpetual and your Explorer only have 100 metres. It's a proper dive watch. So if you want a watch to take on the world at, well, just over half the price of the Rolex, it's well worth thinking about. I wouldn't hesitate. If I couldn't get my hands on an Explorer, the Pelagos would be on my wrist, no doubt at all. It is a true competitor for the Rolex Submariner, in my opinion. It's true, it's not exactly the same, of course. It doesn't have the same diveability. The Rolex has a 300 metre diving capacity, whereas the Pelagos has 200 metres. But Remember the price, half the price of the Submariner, less than half. It is a great performer, and that's coming from somebody who owns a Rolex Submariner. If I did not own a Rolex Submariner, I would definitely be looking at a Pelagos 39, or even a Black Bay 54, if that's another route you may be interested in. If you prefer the slightly smaller watches, definitely, if the Pelagos 39 isn't something that floats your boat, maybe the Black Bay 54. It's more available also. I expressed an interest in a Black Bay 54 when they first came out in my local AD, and I had a call last week and they said there was one available. I decided not to have one because I've got too many dived style watches at the moment, but certainly that would be my advice to you, Valera. I would say stay on the list for the Oyster Perpetual. Why not? Stay on there. But also express an interest for the Explorer. And if the Explorer comes knocking, take that one. But if you want something a lot quicker, likely to be in the store ready to take away, go for the Pelagos 39. It does not have long-term investment potential, but then you shouldn't be investing in watches anyway. They are a poor investment, but it's a watch you can throw on your wrist, you can wear every day, you can treat it rough, tough and tumble, you can go diving, you can go climbing, you can go camping, and it is never going to let you down. It is a worthy investment and a very good price point. So that's my advice to you there, sir. Whichever you choose, I'm sure it will be great. So I hope you can get your hands on the one you want, but if you can't, there's a plan B and a plan C. I hope it's been helpful. If it has, give the video a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more like this, click the old red button. If you have a question for me, put it in the comment section below or drop me an email. If you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee or you can become a patron. I provide additional videos for my patrons and you will see their names at the end of this video. So until the next time, take care, wear your watches, whatever they are, with pride and passion and make them work for you in whatever situation you find yourself in. And I will see you again very soon.